Okay. So you're in Florida. Your your sister, the professional best friend. You guys are
We are living together, roommating. It was pretty cool up until
mhm.
it wasn't,
Okay.
and that's usually how it goes. There was there was a few fist fights between me and my sister over the years, so it was what it was. But basically, there was a hurricane coming to town. I was about to keep my boyfriend on through Christmas so I could get that guap for Christmas, right, for the
Mm-hmm.
kids, because I had this whole thing I was doing. And then after Christmas, I was gonna break up with him and go be with my this person that I wanted to be with.
Right.
So while I'm out of town, I leave for the hurricane. I leave with my dad, his wife, my boyfriend, the kids. My sister decides to stay at the apartment. Well, guess who she has over? My homeboy that she knows I've been talking to. Now I was not dealing with him on a physical level yet.
It was in the air.
It was in the air, period. But it wasn't there yet. Thank
Mm-hmm.
God, because it might have gone even more right. But anyways, I get back from being gone from the hurricane, and I walk into the apartment and see him sitting on one couch on one side of the room, and her sitting on another couch on the other side of the room, like almost like they planned to be from the furthest they could from each other, and the vibe was off. So the minute I walk in, I knew they fucked. Bro, I knew they fucked.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
so I was like, hi y'all, what y'all up to?
Yeah.
What y'all up to? Nothing, just watching TV. I'm like, okay. So I put the kids, they were asleep when we drove in. So I put them in their room, put them down, put my stuff away, came back in the living room, confronted the situation. I said, so y'all fucked while I was gone.
Mm.
And Leah was like, everybody was like, I'm like, yeah, I know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he leaves. Me and her get into it. She screamed, mind you, our apartment walls were
Mm-hmm.
so thin. And while we're like fighting, like just arguing, she screams out, bitch, I'm gonna call DFAX and tell him you do cocaine.
Mm.
All I'm thinking is the folks on the other side of the wall might have heard that.
Mm.
Okay. I lunge at her and start beating the shit out of her. She ends up in the parking lot calling my dad, talking about she gonna call the police and this. So, needless to say, we stopped roommating after that. Now I told her during this argument, I said, I don't give a fuck about that dick.
Mm.
I was like, I only got one sister. I said, but just tell me why you did it, you know. So I said, all right. So then it was time to move back to Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. So mind you, who was president in 2006? Let me look. Let me look. Hold on.
Whoever.
Who was president in 2006?
Bush.
Yes. Okay. George Bush was doing a huge deportation at the time. Huge. I'm talking huge.
Yeah.
Have you seen the numbers, by the way, from the Clinton, Bush, and Obama administration? So millions of people being deported. And at this time, they had locked it down. If you didn't have your Social Security card in
Mm-hmm.
hand,
Mm-hmm.
you can't get hired. So I've got the last name Chapa. I'm got this Hispanic last name. I moved back to Atlanta to my mom's house. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. And I'm having a hard time getting a job because I done lost my Social Security card the weekend we left for the hurricane.
Right.
Mind you, back in the day, it was a whole fucking situation to go get another Social Security card. You got to
Mm-hmm.
go down to the biostatistics down in Atlanta. Then you wait 6 to 12 weeks. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was crazy to try to get another Social Security card back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here unemployed, but I do have my taxes. She ended up getting me a job. I was living in Villa Rica. She gets me a job at this gas station cashiering at night for like $7 an hour. And through this little gas station, I meet this guy. I'm not going to say his name,
Mm-hmm.
but his family owns free at last bail bonding.
Okay.
And he was on the scene during that time in a lot of different ways. But basically, he was like, he thought I looked like Mariah Carey.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to take me to the city. He said his accountant will do my taxes for me. Don't worry about the social security card. So I go and I get my taxes. Mind you, my mom's stressing me about. I've always been a paymaster for my mother, from my household. Period. I have always been a paymaster.
Mm-hmm.
Understand the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So even when she'll kick me out and call me 3 days later and ask for money to, your sister needs new bras and underwear and I just don't have it. Like she will literally put me in the street and then call and ask for money.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how serious it
Mm-hmm.
is. So I move back. I meet this guy. He's like, yo, you look cute. Let me take you to the city. I'll get your taxes done. So when I got my taxes done, because my mom was giving me a hard time about money and this, that, and the third, I was like, man, let me flip some money real quick before, while I'm waiting for my social security card to get here, you know, that way I can at least keep up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I ended up coming down to the city with him. We went right off Cascade. I'm not going to use names, but I met one of his acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I sat there and watched rappers and record producers come to that house all night long.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much money going in the house all night long. So then I thought, ooh, I wonder if I could pay this man a percentage to flip my money, right? I don't want to do it, but he's making it here anyways. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see if I could just, yo, take a percentage off the top, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to him about it and he was like, well, how much you trying to flip? I said, I don't know. Watching what you're doing, I mean, you want 5, 6 G's? What can you do? He was like, I'm not going to buy that much dope. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I'll take you to go buy your own dope.
Right.
I guess probably because I'm white,
Mm-hmm.
I'm brand new on the scene.
Right. Right.
That kind of scared me though, because I was like, damn, well, I had never been on that level. So I'm also not going to use another name, but he was very well known for the Coke game in Atlanta in the early
Mm-hmm.
2000s. And he was affiliated with the industry. So I was taken up to a spot in Lithonia. Felt like it was deep in the woods, but I don't really know. It was dark.
Mm-hmm.
But I go in there. I get made to sit in a little room that has no windows. It just has a couch and a TV and two Rottweilers in it.
Mm.
It was very awkward. I really was terrified. Actually, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" But we handled business. I got my dope, and then instead of he didn't want me, he didn't want my percentage. What he wanted, he was like, I'm tired of the traffic to my house. I've got a driver for you, and I just want you to go around to the studios and the houses and
Oh,
wherever.
gotcha.
So I was just a little mobile dope chick. We got us a little Fredericks of Hollywood water bra, and we cut the little water, little they have little gel pads in there or whatever. They're push up bras, but provides a lot of room. You know, and so shit, I just left out with so much dope on me all the time, every night, going to parties and studios and um, magazine and album release parties, you name it. If the floor was rented out, I was there all night working.
Mm. How long does this run go?
Probably about 6 months.
6 months. Because you're essentially, if this, you say this was around about what year?
This was January of 2006.
2006. Then this is okay. All right. All right. All right.
You already know.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All
You
right.
already know.
All right. So the
So,
people listening, you already know. All right.
okay. To the people
Okay.
listening, you already know. I don't like to speak on certain
I
things.
understand what's understood
Yes.
does not have to be explained.
Um.
Oh.
So, shit, that was fun. It was fun. It was fun.
how does that chapter end? Do
So
you see it coming, or does it just
I,
abrupt?
bro, when I tell you the devil been trying to get me into the industry for the longest,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this was the first time. This was the first time
Mm.
that the opportunity came about to be in a circle that most would think they would want to be in. Um, if I wasn't, if I wasn't a daughter of the Almighty Creator, it would have been for me. I would have run that up, run it up.
Mm-hmm.
Could have found me a wealthy husband. I don't care. Go have you 50 million bitches on the side. I will sit at home and just do what I'm told.
Right.
Okay. Um, it's just a lot of money, a lot of fun. I was basically, this is how it would go down. So my friend from Free at Last ended up pretty much feeling like a chump because he was trying to fuck. I mean, let's be
Right.
real.
Right.
His whole point of taking me to the city and introducing me to this crowd was to try to get some clout and maybe some pussy behind it.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't deal with chumps, and he was a chump. Now, I never made him think he was going to get laid, but I mean, if you think I'm cute, you want to take me to the city, sure, I'll play along.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you get my nails done and all that. Let's do it, run it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be at the house with the kids all day long. I paid my littlest sister, she was like 13 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay her $75 a night to simply, I'm going to cook dinner. After I cook dinner, I'm out. You feed them, you bathe them, you put them to bed. So she making $75 a night just doing that and a little quarter sack of weed every
Mm-hmm.
night. So I leave out around probably usually about 7 o'clock, like 6 or 7, something like that. And I don't get home till about 5 o'clock in the morning. I sleep for about 3 hours and then I get up and I'm with my kids all day. Eventually my mother got sick. I think what happened with her, she was still in her midlife crisis during the time because she was still drinking and going to bars and just doing shit that just at that age is not appropriate
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And she wanted me gone. So she came to me, mind you, I'm paying bills. I'm not living here for free. I keep the house clean with very clean people. My mom is a neat freak. She is a type A personality, so it was never an option. It's not like there's nothing crazy going on in the house. Like
Right.
people just living. That's it. But she asked me one day, she said, "Where are you getting all this money? Are you prostituting?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "God damn, prostituting, mom." I was like, "First of all, I've had kids. No, I'm not prostituting." I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'd probably have to go lay on a plastic surgery table somewhere to get some good bank. Like I'm just like a regular woman. I'm not taking my clothes off for money. Like, where is this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, I've just seen, you pay your sister this and you're doing that and you're gone all night." I was like, "Mom, I'm not prostituting." I was like, "That's insane." I was like, "You know how much fucking I have to do? Like, that's insane." So she really pressed me and wanted to know what I was doing. I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm sitting here waiting for my social security card to come. Like, I'm just trying to make ends meet until then." She was like, "What are you doing?" So I told her. I was like, "Shit, I'm the mobile dope chick.
Yeah.
Like, I work every
The
night."
mobile dope chick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a driver and everything, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she kicked me out right then and there. Now, had I known the law, had I known that's my residence, you can't kick me out, I would have, it would have been different. But she kicked us out like that same day.
Right.
Thank God I had, the whole time I've been working with these folks, they had a crash apart, like a nice condo that everybody chip in on,
Mm-hmm.
and you just go crash there. Like everybody that worked together, doing what I was doing in that little circle of people, we all put in on a condo every
Mm-hmm.
month. So my boss man was like, "Yeah, you and the kids can go stay at the condo,
All right.
but not long term because there's shit that happens at the condo that's not child
Right.
friendly."
Right.
So it was kind of like basically go stay there for three. You got 3 weeks to figure out what you're gonna do. Get your money right, do what you got to do. So I just got my money right and hightailed it to Knoxville. I had a friend that I had been knowing since I had moved to Florida when I was like 8, and her family were up there in Knoxville. And she was like, "Well, why don't you come up here and stay with us?"
Now the police not looking for you or nothing like that. Is okay.
Police don't ever look for me. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the one time. Except for the one time. But no, I went up to Knoxville and I really actually started getting my life together again.
Okay.
I had me a nice little Q4, an Infinity Q45. I'd gotten it from a lady in my church up there. I was in church. I will say this, and I guess I'm going to talk about it because it's important to me. While I was, after my mom kicked me out, of course, trying to make plans did not happen in 3 weeks. So after that third week, I pulled all my money out from Boss Man. I pulled out what was mine, every bit of it, and started hustling out of my car with the kids in the car.
Mm.
And we were living, I mean, essentially, we were living in hotels every
Right.
night, but we're really living in the fucking car until I get the money for the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking my kids to the fucking budget this or that or whatever. So, I mean, so we did a lot of playing at parks and McDonald's, and thank God they were young. Leilani was like 9 months old.
Mm-hmm.
She might have been a year by that point, and then Javon was like about to be 3. So I just took good care of them, but we were homeless. And during that time, I found out that I was pregnant, but I didn't find out until I was miscarriaging.
Okay.
And so me and the kids leave the hotel room at night. I go to the hospital to find out what's going on. They're like, you've had a baby dead in you for the last
Mm.
8 weeks,
Mm.
so you're passing it. I left the hospital the next morning and I had paperwork and I called my mom. I was sitting in the parking lot of the food depot on Floyd Road in Mableton. And I called her and I was like, can me and the kids come home for a few days? I'm miscarriaging. And she was like, no, you're like a cat. You'll land on your feet.
Mm.
And she hung the phone up. Um, at that moment, all I wanted to do was smoke. The kids were asleep. I just fed them, so they're down for their naps in their car seats. I'm sitting in this parking lot and I see what appear to be, a dope boy come out the food depot and come to his car. And I was like, let me see, he got weed. I bet he got some weed. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, bro, you got some weed? He looks at me, kind of peeping my scene. He was like, yeah, you can follow me around. So I followed him around. He was like, you want to carry the kids in? They can take a nap. He was peeping the scene, like he
Mm-hmm.
knew we was living in the car. So he began to ask me questions. And that man, I swear, I hope God blesses him and his family until I don't know when. This man let me and my children stay there while I miscarried. We were there for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trap house, but it wasn't like your typical. He just had one J on a bike making the place.
Right.
He had his mother come over and cook for us. You know, had the Jay go and get some toys from the Kmart for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't ask me for anything at all. Just took care of us that week. I don't know who he is. I don't even remember his name,
Mm.
but I see his face. I see his mother's face. They were so kind. Crazy, crazy
Mm-hmm.
that I lost my baby. My baby was the size of my hand. Um, we were actually under the carport one day. He was playing, with the little baseball, the little plastic baseball bat, the wiffle bat, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing that with Javon, and um, I stood up and threw the ball once too, and I felt the baby, and so I went inside and, my little baby,
Mm.
yeah. But then we drove to Tennessee after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you or how do you ever? Because as long as we've spoken, you don't have a record. You hadn't been locked up. You.
I did get locked up one time for Family Violence Act, summer of 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is extremely taboo, and please believe I paid my due diligence. Like I paid my dues for what I did that day, but my mom, eh, our relationship was so fucked up for so long, and I adore my father. My father was he was a fucking marine, no man left behind, and that
Mm-hmm.
shit means something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's a narcissistic. I don't even know what. And I love her. She's a good woman. We got a great relationship now, but then she was my fucking enemy. And it was like, oh my God, I lost where I was going with that.
Your charge or your
Oh, so she started talking shit about my dad, and I just closed my eyes. I just closed my eyes. But then she got closer to my face as she's yelling at me, and I'm feeling her spit flick through her teeth as
that's
it's
all
hitting
it
my
took.
face. No, it wasn't even that. I bit my knuckle. As I bit my knuckle, she finger mushed my shoulder. Okay, I'm not gonna go further, but I
Right,
got arrested for that.
right.
I was out in 5 days though. I did have to spend my birthday in there though. My dad, my dad, he was like, "I'll
When is your
bet
birthday?
my August 23rd."
Okay.
Yeah, but of course, my heart has hurt for that.
Right,
Like I have repented so badly for putting my hands on my mom. Um, I think just the trauma that I've been through. Um, like at this point, she doesn't know her daughter anymore. Like I got
right,
triggers. You can't you can't have your spit flicking on my face. You can't
right.
finger
Period.
mush me.
Period.
And then you talking shit about the only person that's got my back. Like so, but no, I didn't have no real record. And I finished. I mean, this is the way I operated. If you're working, then you're sober. Um, if you are driving, then you are driving the speed limit with a seatbelt
Right,
and
right, right,
insurance
right,
and
right, right.
registration. If you are pulled over, no matter what is in your car, you are polite.
Right,
You hand your license over. You make small talk like this is your fucking friend.
right,
It's called manipulation.
right,
I learned very quickly to just manipulate my circumstances to benefit me. I don't know if it's really manipulation as much as it is like just being smart.
yeah,
There's certain, I mean, I used to try to tell my homeboys all the time, like, bro, why are you mad that you were sitting in jail now when you know you didn't have any registration when you left the
yeah.
house?
What'd you expect?
Why are you running around with no seatbelt on and guns in the car?
Right,
I
right.
mean, there's a few things that
She could really,
as long as you look like you're doing the right thing, they're not gonna bother you.
yeah.
You gotta travel smart though, and I was smart. I ran anytime I ever did any dirt, I ran it like a real business. Like I was
Right,
like,
right. Proactive.
yeah,
When,
proactive.
when does this, when does this ability to dodge certain situations and several arrests? When does it end?
Several years later, that's only moving to Tennessee was like June of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get arrested until 2010. And the only reason I got arrested is because my professional best friend's sister called the fucking DTs and sent them to my fucking house.
What happened?
Well, she always knows when I do major things, like if I'm running up the road with a few kilos, I'm gonna let her know. Because if something happens, she knows where the kids are at, go grab the kids. She knows to call dad and get bail money. You always gotta have that person, right?
Right, right.
She was always that person. This time, she didn't feel like being that person. She felt like being a junkie snitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
She wrote a hearsay statement. The hearsay statement literally said, "My sister called me and told me that she was involved in a home invasion and hung the phone up." First of all, that's not even a conversation. You really were a part of it. Had I been a real whore, had I been a real hoe, pussy hoe, you would have been sent in jail with me too
right,
because you knew about this before time.
right.
You knew what I was doing ahead of time, bitch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she literally just wrote enough to get me indicted, bro. And because of the neighborhood that it was in, I was fucked.
What neighborhood were you
Uh,
in?
the gated community, Eagles Landing, down in Henry County.
Man, that sounds familiar.
Eagles Landing is pretty much a very wealthy
Right,
establishment.
right, right,
Um, a lot of lawyers and
right.
judges live in that neighborhood.
So, do they catch you with any drugs or?
Mm. No, they didn't catch me with shit. They didn't catch us. No, I was always Slick Rick. They came to my door 4 days later. The crime was committed on Tuesday. They didn't show up to my door until Friday, and nobody got caught. My co-defendants have not done a time, not a
What
day
is
on
the
that.
crime? What is the crime?
Armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon.
Can we walk through that, or do we want to just
Yeah,
what happened?
you're the interviewer. You take it where you want to take it.
No, I just like we have to we're gonna be respectful and stay away from certain things because what's understood does not need to be
Yeah.
explained.
So basically, I was with this Muslim guy, African American Muslim,
Mm-hmm.
um, drug dealer, owned several barber shops in College Park, several traps all over Atlanta.
You stay with you stay with somebody that's moving and shaking.
I like that alpha shit. If they can play with you in the street, I don't want to fuck with you.
Right.
But basically, um, he was so abusive, probably the most abusive and
Mm.
the scariest, because I don't have to be doing anything.
Right.
I can be asleep in my bed in the middle of the night, and you come in drunk and beat me up out of my sleep and then rape
Oh,
me.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
he was the worst. Um, I tried to get him to leave me alone. I let him catch me smoking some weed with a dude one time. Just got beat. He laughed at me, told the little boy to leave, and then beat me.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that would have ended. The only thing I could think of was I hit up a couple of old contacts, found a house out in Mableton. At this point, I was living in College Park. Um, he was like, I don't. Anyways, I found a house. I figured I would just be going. Like the guy didn't live in my house. The guy I was dealing with didn't live there, but he had a key to my
Mm-hmm.
apartment, and I could not get him to leave me alone. So I was just gonna move real quick,
Mm-hmm.
like just go get a place. And I just figured, shit, I need to come up with some money real fast. So I called him one day. I was like, "Yo, you got any licks?" He was like, "Yeah, we got something we working on." So we went and rode over to the neighborhood to look at it, but everybody was like, they didn't want to touch it because shit, it was like a subdivision maze. It like if something goes wrong, you forget which way you're going. You're
You're
lost
gonna
in
have a
that
problem. Yeah.
motherfucker. So um I left it alone, but then like 3 days later, he showed up at my house during the day, which Ricky knew not to come to my house during the day. Um, I don't do that. Like if I'm dealing with a man, he can come after my children are in bed at night.
Mm.
So, unless you coming to buy some work from me or some weed from me or some whatever I'm doing to hustle, that's the only people that come to my door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my man over. Like daytime is business hours for the kids. You can't
Mm-hmm.
come until they're asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So he came over during the day one time on a Saturday. My two older ones were outside playing. Another mother was watching them while they were
Okay.
playing. And I was inside cleaning the house. My son Dante was only 3 at the time. I was potty training him. And he came in with a load in his drawers. I was like, well, time to put you in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So I put him in the shower. All of a sudden, Ricky come through the door, locked the door. I said, yo, you can't lock the door. The kids are out there. But he shoved me back from the door. He said, bitch, get in there. I said, Ricky, no, not right now. I said, I got my 3-year-old in the shower in there. No. He didn't care. He was drunk. He was mad at whatever. I don't even know what. And he proceeded to try to rape me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my older sister was on the way at the time. And when she got there, the door was locked. She knew that shit was strange because
Mm-hmm.
my kids were outside. So I had my windows up because I was cleaning. And she kicked the screen in and drew down on him. That's the only reason I didn't get raped in front of my son that day.
Mm.
And after that, that's when I was like, yo, Ricky, that liquid is looking at. I was like, I want to do it.
Right.
Because I just want the money. I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. we went and did it, and we got the money, and everything was good.
So
Nobody got hurt.
who was the alleged victim? How does it look?
So there was a few gas stations in Henry County that had the little ding ding machines. It's got to be store credit. It can't. It's no gambling here
Right,
in Georgia. So they were doing illegal gambling with
right.
those ding ding machines. And Jay that was cleaning up the parking lot at night, doing the trash and stuff, peeped that they were taking the money 2 different days a week, so Tuesdays and
Um,
Thursdays, and he was peeping how much they were taking.
right.
So he sold that information to homeboy
Mm-hmm.
for a ball.
Yeah.
So that's how that went.
So then
And
y'all.
here's the crazy part. How about the Patel family and all those gas stations got busted by the GBI and the ATF 2 years after I get out? I'm released 2 years later, and they busted them for all that illegal gambling.
Mm,
I guarantee you that it was my crime that put them onto it. Like,
mm,
why are they getting robbed?
mm.
They live in this multi-million-dollar neighborhood. Why are they getting robbed?
How much is the lick for?
It's supposed to be 30. We came out with 15 or 16, so
Okay.
whatever.
So then some days later you get reported.
I believe I was reported that same day.
Okay.
I just think it took them 3 days to put their shit together and then come
Right.
get me
And where are you at when they come and get you?
by apartment.
What does that look like?
So somebody knocks on the door. I got my children sitting on the couch watching a cartoon.
Hold on.
They just got up from their nap.
Where's Chris? You don't talk to Chris at this time at all.
Mm-mm.
You
No,
just uh
I just left him in the dirt.
you just turned your nose up like I offered you some milk. You said,
Mm-mm.
okay.
I mean, he was abusive.
Right.
I've had stitches in my asshole behind him. So yeah, fuck him.
Wow.
Fuck
Okay.
him.
Um, your oldest is still with his father.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't one of those dumb broads.
Right.
My ex-husband's a great man. Why not let him raise his son?
It
It
makes
doesn't make
sense.
no sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So they come and it's morning time, evening time, nighttime.
It was afternoon. The kids had just gotten up from their nap.
Gotcha.
They were sitting down with their little Capri Suns and their little goldfish watching a little cartoon.
Right.
And they knocked on the door, and this, I guess it was to prevent getting your door kicked in, but our doors opened out. So as I look through the peephole, I see it's the police, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I open the door. As I'm pushing the door out, they try to grab my wrist and try to pull me out. I said, excuse me, absolutely not. I said, we're going to do this nicely today. We're all going to be nice. I have my children here, and that's not how this is going to go down.
Mm.
So I said, why don't you gentlemen come in? I said, how about that one? So I just let them come in. They walked through my house with their guns drawn in front of my kids, like I had somebody hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Stupids. Then they detained me in my room, searched my room, found nothing that pertained to that crime,
Mm-hmm.
and asked me if my name was Rachel Chapa. I was like, yes, and they took me to fucking jail. Then, after I got locked up, my sister came and got the kids and proceeded to go through my nightstand and try to find the cops' information about my co-defendants.
Mm.
They ended up calling Ricky, okay, or going to look for him at one of the barbershops. I think she found one of his business cards. And I think it was they went in. So at that point, Ricky called my phone. My phone was with my older sister, the one that drew down on Ricky. And so she answered the phone. This is like 2 weeks after I got locked up. She answered the phone. He's like, put that bitch on the phone. I know she sent him to the shop. Da 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 da. Mind you, if I had sent him to the shop, you'd be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Think this through, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. So this was. I'm not even gonna be like, oh, I didn't tell because I'm so G. No, I use a lot of logic.
Mm-hmm.
So my logic was, if I tell them who I did this with because that's what they were after. They kept asking me who the black boys were with
Mm-hmm.
that I was with. Who were the black boys you were
Mm-hmm.
with? Mind you, even my attorney is doing that. Nobody's. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. They're like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. We know you did it. Da da da. No positive ID, no fingerprints, no weapon, no co-defendants, no cash.
Mm-hmm.
Just my sister
Mm.
saying, "Oh, she did it. She did it. She did it." So I really feel like I sat there and I thought about it, and I'm like, bro, if I tell on them, they're gonna really actually put me as the mastermind because I hit them up 3 days later talking about, yo, what about that lick? I want to go do it.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the fact that cops lie. I don't know. I just felt like taking responsibility for my own actions was probably the best route.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and that's what I did. I just, um, I sat there. They were trying to give me 10 years to the door, but yet you didn't even find a
What
weapon in my
county
home.
were you in?
It's in Henry County,
Okay, you're in Henry County.
bro. It's some cowboy shit for real.
What do you mean?
Um, so like I said, the neighborhood I went into was full of legal community.
Right.
So this is what it looked like to be sitting with my first appearance attorney. He comes into the holding cell, flips through my file. He said, "Oh, you're that one." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Little girl, you just don't know how much trouble you've gotten yourself into." He said, "Half the legal community lives in that neighborhood. You are fucked." And I was like, and guess what? I really was fucked because when we got out there in front of the judge, mind you, I don't have any priors. Well, no, I had the one prior by that point because
Right.
I had committed a ag assault in Douglas County.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, there's no reason why I shouldn't bond out. Okay, right? Like, I'm not on the books like that. Um, but my attorney stands up because the judge looks at it, says, "Okay, armed robbery. Was this a business or was this residential?" My attorney stands up and says, "This was the Eagles Landing robbery, Your Honor. Like, this is
The
that one."
one did, yeah.
Bro, he says, "Oh, bail denied. You're a danger to the community." Clunk. When I tell you I filed for a change of venue due to conflict of interest and I was denied, when I tell you I tried to hire a private attorney and was denied, I was blacklisted like a motherfucker and sat there, and they thought, including my public defender for Superior Court, thought that he was going to continue to press me for months trying to get out of me who my co-defendants were.
Yeah.
And mind you, at this point, I've been to college twice, not finished, but I've started my pre-law college courses twice. I know how to go through a discovery pack. I know how to file for my discovery every week. So you're not about to sit here and play with me. You don't have any fucking evidence on me. You have a hearsay statement that is enough to get someone indicted, but will be thrown out in superior court. It is hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no recording. There's no fucking proof. So you don't have no witnesses. You don't have these victims. This shit happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they could not ID me out of a six pickup. I'm telling
Right.
you, the little picture of six folks, they couldn't ID me. They obviously it was all elbows and knuckles in them motherfuckers, so no fingerprints. And I told my attorney, I said, let me tell you something. I said, you go tell that DA, I know he needs a win. I know he needs a winner. His whole fucking career is going to be fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but he's not going to get a win with no 10 years. I promise you. Because there's not enough evidence in that discovery pack to get me convicted,
Right.
period.
Right.
Not on any day of the week. I said, you tell him I want my 15-5 on robbery and we'll run it and drop one of them ag assault charges so that I can make my way to the fucking transitional center.
Right.
And that's what we did. I was in court a week later. But that idea only came after I, settled some stuff in my heart with God. Like, oh, they don't have any evidence against me. I'm gonna beat this shit.
Right.
Da, da,
Right.
da.
Right.
Well, how long do you think you're gonna be able to beat what you actually been doing? Because this ain't no lie here.
Right.
So you want to play with God? I mean, well, He knows what you did.
Yeah.
So He was like, you can either repent and understand that you deserve 10 years to the door, or well, can be really bad and you can do 10 years to the door.
Mm. Um.
So I finally just had this moment of just breaking in my heart. Like, damn, damn, those old folks were so fucking scared. It was the old Indian grandparents, bro. They was there during the day. They was scared to death.
Yeah.
They had traditional Indian apparel on. Like, this was some of these grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got shit to do with that illegal gambling going on in that damn gas station. They probably don't even know about it.
Right. Right. Right.
So there was a moment of repentance. Like, damn, I can't believe I did that shit.
Yeah.
And so once that happened, I don't know, God just brought this great idea to me to just bluff the DA. And I did. And I got down the road, and just so happened to be I was in the same facility with Ricky's cousin and auntie,
What facility did you go to?
Arendelle.
Also
Alto.
known as Alto. Do they still call it Alto, or is it just Lee Arendelle?
No, we call it Alto all the time, but I guess I just been seeing Lee Arendelle on my feed
Yeah,
so
on
long.
Mill and on everything.
Yeah, I went to Alto.
What dorm do you go to when you get to Alto?
I was in the C unit first during diagnostics. They had C unit as diagnostics.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all that marching on that field right next to that unit.
Marching.
Bro, it was paramilitary like a motherfucker. What do you mean?
Marching?
Bro, I marched for hours every day in the hot sun in the big linen white jumpsuits and the freaking combat boots. Yes, we were marching at Alto in 2011. Understand
Wow.
that. We was out there for hours calling cadences. We had an ex Marine staff sergeant that was in charge of all of the women who came in for diagnostics. We was out there calling cadences. We was out there marching. If somebody messed up, we was out there longer.
You remember any names?
For who?
Officers.
I remember her face. Let me think.
You don't have to. It's
I
not.
don't remember the names. I know the wardens. It was Warden Bolton. She was the head. And then you had Deputy Warden Benton, Deputy Warden Kennedy, Deputy Warden Dewberry. And I'm gonna be honest, that was pretty fly. I mean, Miss Bolton, she can go fuck herself, but the other ones were fly as fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. Tried to get me an outside detail, and I told him if you lower my security and put me on an outside detail, I will run away. So you're not about to put me in front of the public doing nothing in a fucking jumpsuit.
What's something that the public doesn't know about female prisons?
There is so much. Those women get taken advantage of by the officers.
Really?
Oh yeah, the officers pay attention and know who's going to store, know whose family comes to see them, so they will zero in on lifers or zero in on somebody that they think is halfway attractive that they know doesn't get money on their books, and it's the whole give me some pussy and I'll put some money on the books. There was a lot of that going on.
Did they still have trade school there?
Yes.
What trades were
they had the cosmetology program. They had a workshop of some sort. I want to say it was woodworking. They had all kinds of classes. You could take theology class. You could get your GED.
Theology class?
Yeah.
Did they still have culinary arts?
I don't remember.
Okay.
They had a whole bunch of stuff though. Now my security was too high to get into the majority of that because I had violent charges. So anything that used a tool,
it was an issue.
So no cosmetology, no this, no that.
Okay.
But I was able to take motivation for a change, thinking for a change. I took probably 4 different anger management classes because I needed that shit. And then I took this really good parenting class, and it was the first thing I had ever started that I finished. And it was a 6-month-long parenting class. Now, you already know you got to stay out the way to be able to stay in a class, because if you catch one DR for any reason, it don't even have to be your fault. You're out your class.
Did you frequent the library while you were there?
Yes, I did. I went in there and I actually handled my family law cases because my beautiful, loved, blessed mother put one of my children in defects. So yes, I was in the legal library every single week for that whole hour. I was doing family law. I was writing letters, filing
You
petitions.
was on top of it.
Fuck yeah, I wasn't gonna. My kids were with me. There was one year I was jade out on some drugs with a fucking gangbanger. After that though, my kids
You
were
was on
with
point.
me.
Yeah.
Period.
Did you ever run across an old Jewish lady with white hair? Her name was Susan Slayer.
I believe I remember the name Susan Slayer.
Yeah, she
Yes.
was definitely up there. But Susan Slayer was responsible for bringing the debate club and the book club at Alto. She had UGA come out with Dr. Panetta. I still communicate with Dr. Panetta.
See, that's when the GDC was doing stuff for the inmates, though.
Those are facts.
And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Now, you had some slime officers that just trying to hit, but 90% of the officers on that compound really actually cared about the inmates.
I agree.
They treated us like they're bad nephews and nieces.
Right.
Like we gotta behave. Like they expected more out of us. The majority of them, in my personal opinion, were probably Christians,
Mm-hmm.
which gave them a different vibe when dealing with us.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted us to rehabilitate. They want us to do better. They expect us to do better. It, I really feel like the paramilitary vibe to it was part of it. When I tell you I got my work ethic back there, I got my critical thinking skills back directed towards the proper
Mm-hmm.
things. Like, you know, I mean, if I had been in the prison system that exists today, I would not have rehabilitated. Who
Mm.
does 10 years on paper and doesn't violate once?
Yeah, that's
Nobody.
crazy. Let's
But
let's let's dive into that. Well, how long do you stay there? How long do you stay at Alto?
I was in three different county jails during that first year of my incarceration, and then the last 3.5 were spent on Alto.
Why were you at three different?
So my crime was committed in Henry. I was on felony probation in Douglas County, and then I lived in Clayton County. And when the cops came, why did Henry County DTs call College Park to come and serve me a fucking ticket and a fucking court date for the weed they found on me?
Mm. When do you leave Alto?
I left Alto uh, February 12th of 2014 is when they released me from the TC. I got out in the middle of the ice storm. I got out at
Oh.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Hold on, what was
And
the month?
it was February. Mm-hmm.
I remember I had to leave my truck at the beginning of my subdivision.
You know what the first thing I did was?
What?
I went to Walmart and bought some pretty panties. And that was the first thing I posted on my Facebook, my first Facebook page ever. I
Wow.
posted, I was like, I finally got some pretty panties.
Wow. When you come home, how are the children doing?
Javon is wearing all clothes that are way too big for him.
Because how
Hair
old is he
looks
now?
like 10.
Okay.
His hair looks like my mom's taking him to Great Clips. My sister was still jade out to the point. My two youngest ones, I didn't even know I was their mother. Um, Dante's clothes. It was cold when I got out. He got his long sleeve shirt up to here, pants up to here, clothes that don't fit him.
What part of town are they in?
The two little ones were in Stockbridge at the time, and Javon was living with my mother up in Villa Rica, and then Leilani was in defects custody. I almost had a lawsuit against defects custody and the foster parent because I pick up I see my child for visitation as we're trying to, reunify, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her teeth looked like she ate a bag of Cheetos on the way. Like they were disgusting. Mind you, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I see her. And I said, "Hey, baby, did you eat Cheetos on the way or something?" She was like, "No, I haven't eaten yet today." And I'm like, "Why the fuck do her teeth look like that?"
Right.
And then I start, putting my fingers in her hair, and I'm realizing that everything on the inside of her hair is matted. She's got her hair up in this ponytail, this pom pom, but everything on the inside is dreadlocked. This bitch was not getting her hair done was not taking her to the dentist, was not taking care of my child. It took me 4 hours, and I almost revoked my, because you only got a certain amount of time when you leave on a
Right, right,
pass
right,
from the
right,
transitional
right,
center,
right.
and I was combing that baby's hair out in visitation. Like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I told the DFACS worker right then and there, I said, let me tell you something. I said, my children ain't never looked like this in the whole time they've been alive. And I said, if you showed up at my fucking door and they look like this, you'd take them. I said, but this is what you're okay with. I said, you better get her guardian ad litem on her. Her teeth better be fucking clean by next week and her hair better be fucking done. I said, because it's going down. I promise you, I'm not that one.
Mm.
And next week, her hair was done and her teeth were clean.
How long does it take you to get her out of defect?
I had all of my children back in my full custody within 4 months of being released.
Oh, you want bullshit.
Why would I?
Mm.
They're the reason I live.
Mm. So now, what is your home? You improved your critical thinking skills, and
Hopped into barber school.
finally, after you could have went to beautician school with your sister years ago.
Yeah. I don't really, I mean, we all know how women are, right? The majority of them. Some of them are a little too female. The majority of them are a little too female.
Okay.
A lot of women are catty and petty and shit. Dealing with my sisters and my mama, I didn't want to deal with no females and do female hair all day.
So you went to barbering school and you became a licensed barber?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not licensed. I graduated with an A, 100%. But I never went and took state boards. I can't do a roller set to save my life.
But you cut hair.
Yeah, I'm good.
You cut hair now?
Yeah. In fact, I gotta go cut somebody's hair tonight. I gotta do a retwist and a little line up. Well,
okay. When does your son start to venture off?
so that was like a little mixture of a perfect storm there. When I first got locked up, my mom had a vacation planned. And I got locked up about a week before her vacation was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I've taken all kinds of beatings to get my children away from their father. He came around a little bit when I lived in College Park. He might
This is
stop
Chris.
by. Yes, he might stop by and see them for maybe 30 minutes or
Mm-hmm.
somebody. He was not allowed to do anything unsupervised.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through the most to keep my children away from that man.
Right.
And what does my mom do? She finds it completely inconvenient that I'm incarcerated. She finds it completely inconvenient that she has her grandchildren, which she never sees anyways, because they're not fucking white. And she decides that so that she can go on her vacation, she sends my children to their father for 6 weeks. They were abused brutally. The same way that he has abused me, he has abused them in every sense of the word. According to the gang rules, he should die.
Mm.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So these are the things that happened to my children right after their mother was ripped from them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They saw me leaving handcuffs. In fact, all of my children say that that is their first memory. Now, as Javon has been down the road, he's talked about other stuff that he remembered before that day, which I didn't know. But like, he remembered his dad choking me out one time. That happened at Auntie Kay's house. Auntie Kay's house was supposed to be like the Switzerland for me and my baby daddy back when I was back in 2006. So we'd meet up there with the kids. It got lit that night. He brought his little stripper bitch girlfriend. I made that hoe stay on the fucking porch. She's like, but it's winter time. I said, I don't give a fuck, ho. I said, you come here, I'm gonna drag your ass.
Yeah.
So then we get inside. He gets mad that I told this hoe to stay outside. Well, we said some words we shouldn't have said, and then I'm getting choked out. She's like, Chris, no, don't kill this white girl in my house. She said, "Now, if y'all gonna be acting up like this, you can't meet in my house no more. You can't
Mm.
meet in my house no
When does your
more."
son have his first run in with the police?
Unfortunately, it was when he was putting his hands on me.
That's when your son has his run in with the police?
Mhm.
What do
He
you mean?
was he was 13.
Okay, you guys bumped heads.
No, we didn't bump heads. He started beating me. He started beating me.
Why?
Because I popped him in his mouth, and told him not to talk to me like that. He was brushing his teeth, and I told him to do something. Actually, I didn't pop him in his mouth. Actually, I did that shoulder shit again.
Yeah.
I don't smack nobody no more, by the way.
Right.
That's something I don't believe in anymore.
Mm.
I'm not smacking nobody. Y'all can do the smacking. I'm gonna sit over here and not smack. Because every time I smack somebody, something crazy happens. But I smacked him on his shoulder because he said something disrespectful and some of his toothpaste. So I smacked his shoulder and it was like he blacked out. That was when I realized the trauma that he had been through while I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
He just blacked out. He took both of his fists and just went to town. I ended up in the chiropractor and the ER and everything. He
Mm.
was a big boy. Javon has always been oversized for his age. When he played football, he did offense and defense,
Right.
and the other team always put two guys on him,
Right.
and he still barreled through him. He played for McEachern for a couple of
Okay,
years.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he was good.
So he goes to juvenile.
No, they don't. Man, please, they don't care if you beat on your parents nowadays. Just get a court date.
Mm.
I didn't even call the police with him until though it had happened a few times. The first two times I did not call the police. The first two times I retreated. I got myself a hotel room, got myself together, um, asked God for insight. Like, what do you do? Like, I mean, because all it did for me was trigger every bit of PTSD and trauma I got. So I was like, how the fuck I live with somebody that might put their hands on me and they're my child? And I'm here on parole and felony probation. I'm not going back to jail behind smacking
Right,
them
right,
for
right,
sure.
right, right.
So, I mean, you choose freedom or you choose being locked up again. Because if I participate in the shenanigans, I'm going to jail and he's still gonna be out here. So, um, it was in Cobb County. Um, he had come in the night before and wanted me and my daughter to go outside and fight some girl and her mama because of some shit he had gotten into. Mind you, I'm still reporting probation. And at this point, I've transferred it from Carroll County to Cobb County. And Cobb County's not playing like that.
No,
Like, I'm not going out to fight.
right.
What the fuck? Like, you better go fight them bitches yourself. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I told him. I said, my daughter ain't going out either. Why she gonna go get her pretty face involved and you out there acting a fool? You better go beat them yourself
yeah.
because you big enough. Go do it. You're not on probation. So he shoves me into the wall. Talk about get the fuck out my way and shoves me into the wall. I get bruised up on my arm. Um, Later that night, he fell asleep with his phone in his hand. So I went in there and took his phone. Like that was gonna be his punishment. Oh, he woke up the next morning.
Not
I had to
good.
call the police. I didn't have a choice. He was
Yeah.
threatening to stab me to death. So, you know,
Mm.
which he's not a bad kid. He is a wonderful kid. He loves his family. He is such a mama's boy. This is just the trauma and the hurt and the pain.
Right,
Like this is the stuff. This was his life.
right,
It's coming out. The life you've lived is coming out now. Um, he was too big. There was no way to stop him without lethal force or without being a
right.
grown man myself.
Mm-hmm.
So at a certain point, his younger brother and sister were scared of him. I was scared of him. I sent him to go live with his grandmother. I figured my mom would be able to get him to settle down. He ended up trying to pop up and be violent with them. And they're petite. Her husband at the time was very petite as well. So he just hopped from, I mean, he's been back and forth home between all the time, but every time he gets violent, I got to put him out.
Right.
You know, we can't have that shit going on. And by the time he was about 16, I mean, he's bigger than his coaches, for God's sake.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
I wasn't, I wish my critical thinking skills had been better off because I didn't know what to do with them. I tried to find some kind of program. There was nothing. I tried to get him on probation and see if that could straighten him out. The juvenile justice system is set up to fail our youth. It just is. It just is, and it just is. They want to do it. They don't want you to recover. They want you to think the law is a fucking joke so that when you turn 18 and throw your ass in a fucking grave
Mm.
with the keys. That's all they want to do.